Prick. Frenzy. Double kill.
Big year for Halo.
Big year for Halo.
Next year will be a big year for Halo. When are we getting Halo 5? Do we have a date yet?
When I was at the event, they said roughly exactly a year away. Roughly exactly.
So what awesome event were you at? What did you check out?
I was at a really awesome event. I went and I played Halo 5, Brandon. I played the multiplayer beta that's coming out next month for everyone that owns the Master Chief Collection.
And there's so much Halo stuff happening now that like I have to remember the number 5 because we're getting 1, 2, 3, 4 in a collection, and 5's on top of that. So when they said 5, I was like, oh, that's coming. Wait, no. That's the one we don't have.
That's the one we don't have.
And we've learned a little bit about. But what was a big take? Was the gameplay, or did you learn any story elements? Or?
No, it was multiplayer only. Okay. So no story, zero story, and it's crazy different. Halo. I feel like Halo has never had this many changes in one game.
Wow.
And I guess the first immediately noticeable thing is Halo is now a left trigger, right trigger game. Every gun has some sort of zoom in option that you do with the left trigger. And that changes things a lot. They're done with loadouts. They got rid of loadouts, which is actually something I'm grateful for.
Okay.
But at the same time, every weapon, because of the left trigger, right trigger nature of it, every weapon feels more effective. So that starting assault rifle you get, you can take dudes out with that assault rifle because you just zoom in. It just it just feels more powerful, and B, it's easier to line up headshots. But the other thing is mobility. Every single Spartan has a jetpack equipped into their suit, and you can. It's kind of like an exosuit.
There's no turning back from this. It's like every franchise, every new game, like all the shooters. It's like unless it's specifically rooted in present day. You got to fly. You got to get airborne somehow.
Yeah, mobility is kind of the order of the day, starting with Titanfall and then every other shooter we're seeing it with. And you can dodge to the left, you can dodge to the right, you can dodge backwards, you can do like a kind of power slide, which is cool. And when you're in the air, if you hold down the left trigger to aim, you'll kind of slowly descend. That's extremely useful. You can do a ground pound that takes a while to charge up. But once you hit somebody with it, they're dead instantly. My favorite, however, though, is you have unlimited sprint. So in Halo 4, sprint was a huge deal. Now you have unlimited sprint. And while you're sprinting, if you hit the melee button while you're moving forward, you will charge, and you'll do like a melee slam. And that's really fun and satisfying to use. But the thing that I like about unlimited sprint is when you're sprinting, your shield will not recharge. And so a lot of times during the event, I had this decision to make, like, okay, do I want to try to hide quickly and get out of cover and stay still and make myself vulnerable, or do I want to run out of the way? Which one is going to be better? And that ended up being an interesting decision a lot of the time.
You can't reload, right? I'm assuming while you're running.
No, you can reload.
While you're sprinting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no, not while you're sprinting. I'm sorry.
Because I think that's a something you can equip in Call of Duty.
Right.
You can
No, not while you're sprinting.
As an upgrade.
Yes, that is correct. But all of these changes, the mobility. Oh, and also another thing that I really like, I think is a really, really good addition, is clamber. So in Halo, sometimes there would be those awkward moments where you're like, okay, I think I can get over top of this, and you would just sort of butt against it. Here, when you get close to the edge, if you tap A, your character will just pull himself up.
Cool.
And that extremely useful.
How does that look in when you're looking at other characters do it? Is the animation fluid? Did you ever see someone else clamber from a distance?
I didn't see someone else clamber. I only saw myself, so I can't.
You didn't do extensive clamber animation tests?
No, I didn't. I was too busy shooting guys, Brian. Right. But there's the other new thing, before we sort of get into how it felt, I guess, is a new mode that I really, really like. And everyone's a lot more vulnerable. You can kill people more easily, and you're in a small arena. And once you die, you have to wait until the round is over.
Okay.
And so it's 5v5, and it's the first team to 5 rounds, I believe, wins. And the matches are very short and very intense, and there's something, it's kind of that Counter-Strike sort of appeal where you're the last man left on the team. I don't know. I had a ton of fun with that mode, and I was the last guy left, and I ended up taking out an entire team. Maybe that's why I like it so much, because I had that moment. I don't know.
To give more weight to having to your life in that match, you know, and then recycling that so it's not just that one first match, but like we have to maintain that momentum. But yeah, it's always really frustrating when you're like the first person to die and you just have to sit back and like watch the rest of the match.
Yeah, very frustrating. But it's also, you learn not to rush in. You learn to take a little bit slower. You pay more attention to your environment. All of those things.
And that's like the point. That's like what they want you to do.
Exactly. I keep remembering things. That's not everything. When you start the match, there's a video that plays that sort of like introduces your team, and it shows you where a power weapon is. Additionally, during the match, one of the maps that we played, the sniper rifle would spawn, and it tells you, there's a green icon that everyone can see. It's like, this is where the sniper rifle is going to be, and your Spartans will say 30 seconds until the sniper rifle is there. And at first, I didn't really like that, because I always thought one of the appeals of Halo was learning the maps, figuring out, like when you find the rocket launcher, that's a moment, you kind of savor it. And it actually, I think, is a smart addition, because even the people that weren't interested in the power weapons would show up at that spot because they knew something was going to go down. So it sort of creates these intense like skirmishes where everyone is there. And I think that's cool. The other thing that they do is they're sort of simulating voice chat. All of your other Spartans will talk to each other. So I got a headshot, and the character next to me said, "Oh, nice kill, man." It wasn't he didn't say nice kill, man, but he said like nice headshot, something like that. And they'll talk to you. So if they see an enemy, they'll be like, enemy at 12 o'clock. So they're trying to do some of the work for you, so you don't have to constantly talk.
I've noticed characters in Evolve do that, which really helps, because like if you want to win in that game, you need to communicate to your other teammates where that monster is. And if anybody even remotely, I've had my character in Evolve say, "Oh, I see the monster," and I didn't even see it. It was just like, "Oh, thanks that it just picked it up in the crosshair."
Right.
So like sent out that message. So that can help.
And it's this subtle reminder that you're playing a team game, and the more information I think you can give players, the better. And I noticed people were more coordinated just because of those subtle little quips that the other Spartans would say.
So how does it feel? What did they say? Why they made it why they added the left button scope on everything?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
And
why do you think they did? How did it feel?
It felt good, but at the same time, it didn't feel very Halo-ish. It felt like another take on modern shooters. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I still think, I was worried that because of the left trigger, right trigger thing and the assault rifle being so good, for example, that you wouldn't have that power weapon struggle where, you had to get to this point on the map to get this weapon to kill people. And that's not true. When I got the battle rifle, I was doing even better. When I got the sword, I still dominated. So there's still sort of that struggle, but there were times, especially when I was doing the dodges back and forth, I was like, this is sort of like Advanced Warfare. And again, it's not necessarily bad, but I wonder in the long run if I'm going to miss that very slow, deliberate, not really about zooming down the sights feel of Halo. I don't know. As a longtime Halo fan, Brandon, how do these changes sound to you?
They sound okay. It seems like everything is speed now. It seems like everything is like, like you were saying, the new weapon spawns in the environment. They're creating a system where it's like, go, everybody just run over there and get to it. It's like, we can have these more complex environments because of, next gen. And so, they want to add more tools that you can do. They want you to get to that ledge faster. They want you to double jump so you can you see the top of a building, they want you to get up there. So it seems that, they want to make things accessible and probably makes sense to streamline it, to not have arbitrary limitations on that you can scope this one weapon, you can't scope this other one. One final question that I am curious about is, Halo 4 looked pretty good on Xbox One. Is there a noticeable improvement in multiplayer visuals this time around?
Yes, definitely. This is Halo on the next generation. It looks good.
Nice.
Yeah. The thing for me in particular, and you'll notice in the Master Chief Collection as well, is the lighting is really good. So we were in this sort of space factory, and it was
that manufactures space.
Right, exactly. And there would be pockets of light that would beam in, and it looked really, really good. Yeah, I was impressed with how it looked.
Does it help the gameplay at all? Like you can see grenades easier, or is it just? dynamically, it just creates a more appealing image.
It's just a more appealing image. I guess that's kind of a simple way of putting it. But I don't know. I think I respect 343 a lot. I think when people get this in their hands, they're going to be surprised at how many changes there are, and I love that. You know, they're not just taking the Bungie template and making minor little improvements or like a quirk here, a quirk here. They're like, no, this is what we want Halo to be now, and that's bold, I think.
Yeah, I think every entry is a great opportunity to do that, especially if they wanted this to have a lot of life on, and possibly these multiplayer enhancements to trickle over, not just to Halo 6, but maybe other Halo games that we'll get.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Reach and ODST, we got these other side projects, so curious. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I wasn't expecting to hear that many changes.
Yeah, and you know, as they had this little presentation before they sat us down to play, and I was like, oh no, this is just Call of Duty in space. Oh no, I was very apprehensive. I was skeptical, but at the end of the session, you know, I was like, I had a good time, and I want to play more.
Fun factor was good.
Fun factor was good.
All right, cool.
Half-Fred.